Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Young Dad Gaming Reviews, the series where I reminisce, recount, and review the games that I grew up on, and decide when or if my son will grow up on the same games, or if they should be avoided for now due to extreme violence, suggestive themes, or because the game just sucks. Next up, 13. Okay. Full disclosure, I'm probably going to be crucified for this review, and I was very hesitant to even make a review for this game after I completed it. Why? Because I know how many people look at this game through rose-tinted goggles and absolutely love this game. 13 is an FPS based off of a Belgian comic series of the same name, released in 2003 for PS2, PC, GameCube, and Xbox. While I never owned this game growing up, I've always wanted to play it. Being that the remake or remaster is coming out in November, I was able to pick it up for a decent price, and I was very excited to get it, but what was the reason that I couldn't get into it as much as I had hoped? Well, let's dive into the world of espionage and find out. A classic tale of betrayal and amnesia. You are Jason Bourne. You don't know who you are. All you remember is being shot off of a boat.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Shut up. You are rescued by the lifeguard from Lilo and Stitch, who shortly dies after helping you as a group of assassins show up to try to finish you off. Why? Who knows? All you know is that you were able to defend yourself against these professional asses with some skill, and that you might be more important than you think. Eventually, you find yourself under arrest because you're being framed for murdering the president. Because you're Mark Wahlberg in Shooter.
What? No!
As I said before, there was a lot going on at once, and I never really felt invested in the story. But also because it felt very cliched, and I feel like I missed out because when this game came out, this story of assassins and your own government betraying you wasn't as common. One of the first games to make popular the cel-shaded comic book style look, and what really helped it stand out and help it age like a fine wine. The FMV cutscenes are done in the same style, and the lighting and shading keeps it feeling like something in the 70s, but also the early 2000s as well. The bad thing is though, I couldn't help but keep thinking of Archer when I played this game.
Pam, wait up. Come on, get me drunk enough and I might have sex with you.
Really?
No.
One of the coolest features I noticed in this game is when you take more damage, your screen starts to shake, and you can see that you're looking through a comic panel. You can see this more clearly when an explosion happens close by, as your screen will shake violently. All of the characters are well designed, but due to the art style, some people ended up looking a little too similar to me, and I started losing track of who was who, and it made the story hard to follow. The music in this game is very intense and helps you feel the adrenaline in the firefights you'll be involved in. The game also boasts some popular voice actors. David Duchovny voices 13, and while I initially thought he sounded like he was bored or half-assing his lines...
Jones, finally. I feel like I've spent 3 months inside a tin can.
Okay. What do you say we hop on down to Mexico, Captain?
Margaritas on the beach?
More like Rangers and Red Berets. Tighten up your panties, we're going supersonic.
I eventually thought, that's just how David Duchovny talks, and that's kind of why we love him. Okay, that's not entirely true. He really does sound like he phones in so many of his lines. Adam West voices 13's commanding officer, and while he does do a good job, his voice is so recognizable, especially after his stint on the Family Guy show, that I was consistently expecting him to start being confused and dumb.
No one can stop me from conducting my own investigation. You hear me, Amos?
Not the Griffins, you moron! The rest of my light, bright pieces! My name isn't Adam Wee. Or is it? Who am I? What number did you dial? Don't ever call here again. I guess I told him, nobody messes with Adam Wee.
Rest in peace, Batman. Eve voices the supposed love interest of 13, and she's not bad in an acting role. She brings a fun level of sass to the game.
Colonel McCall runs this badge training camp, and Kim suspects he's part of the conspiracy. You won't be running into many intellectuals down there, mostly black ops, knuckle draggers.
And say hi to Sister Morphine.
Morphine? Damn it, I don't need...
Yeah?
Yeah, it actually feels way better.
Good, then get up. You're sitting on the beer.
So here's the part of the game I had the most issue with. The gameplay. For the most part, it suffers from a lot of the same sins many early 2000s FPS shooters suffered from. Unforgiving stealth sections, dumb teammate AI, and hit-scanning enemies. The worst part of all this is how each one of these feed into the worst sin of all, the severe lack of checkpoints. Now, I don't know if it was just the PC version of this game, or maybe I played on the wrong difficulty, but it seemed as if all the enemies had perfect accuracy and would never miss their shots. This was especially annoying when the enemies started wielding rocket launchers. As soon as I was in their line of sight, I'd lose massive amounts of health. And this caused me to die multiple times throughout the game and restart the checkpoints, even though I'm usually pretty good at FPSs. There are also a few times you need to escort an NPC and you need to protect them, but they will just run out into the open and not even bother to take cover. Then they die, and you have to reload to the most recent checkpoint. Which brings me on to the third sin. There is a quick save, but it only quick saves as your most recent checkpoint. Again, this isn't too bad on some levels, but the levels that have no checkpoints just makes it feel unfair. Especially when those levels have instant fail stealth sections. Sure, you have a lot of guns to choose from to silently subdue your assailants, except for certain missions when you aren't allowed to kill anyone, and the ones where you are, good luck trying to get your silenced pistol to kill an enemy in one headshot. I know I've mentioned a lot of negatives about the game, but the game isn't all bad. The game does have some moments where it really shines, such as the submarine level. Though it starts off as a stealth mission that you can instantly fail with very few checkpoints, once you get to the second part, you're allowed to go guns blazing, which is pretty satisfying, though some of the guns' recoil and spread is absolutely too much, and it feels like your bullets are just dancing around the enemies. I tended to have more fun during the stealth sections, especially when your stealth plan is working just the way you planned. And every time you score a headshot with a crossbow, you get these cool 3 little comic book panels that pop up at the top, and I never got tired of seeing those. So if you're still watching this video and you haven't crucified me yet, let's get to the verdict. I don't necessarily think that 13 is a bad game, but it definitely is a product of its time, and I feel that a lot of the defense this game has is done through thick nostalgia goggles. It's plagued with the same issues many games had during the 2000s era. Being that this is a story that's been recently overdone in films since 2010, I don't care much for the story. I know the story won't change much for the remaster/remake, but I am still looking forward to playing that version, as the updated controls, the non-hit scanning enemies, and hopefully fixed checkpoints will hopefully make up for a lot of my gripes. Overall, I give 13 3 smashed by ashtrays out of 5, as for me, nothing really stood out as groundbreaking. It just seemed like a generic first-person shooter with a now outdated espionage story. As for games I would let my son play, I would say whenever he feels ready, as hopefully he can play this game and be as enthralled at such a young age as many of you were. As far as nostalgic value goes, the nostalgia for this game is very strong and very well respected. It's just definitely a game of its time that I missed out on. Hopefully the remaster can bring that time back and show me if I really am missing something or if it really is just nostalgia. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment down below for games you'd like to see, hit the subscribe button, and ring that bell if you'd like to be notified whenever I release a new video. Also, if you enjoyed the theme song, don't forget to check out Ellie's channel where she does amazing covers. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye bye!
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got troubles, I got him too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. To stick together, we can see it through.